All right, an update on rehabilitation from death. We're gonna get to some other stuff besides the physical stuff, but let's get to the mental stuff. One of the things that I find it hard to do now is watch death scenes. Especially if somebody's in a hospital bed or if they're being intubated or something like that. It's very difficult for me to watch that scene because I imagine me being there again and everything like that. But that's what I found out recently, and just from a mental standpoint, that some things are just difficult to watch. Going past cemeteries is tough, because my mind flips to like, yo, you could be in there. So that's another thing. You have these constant reminders about what you went through. It's not something you can easily shake, even though I don't remember anything that I went through. You have these constant reminders of something about it, and that's those two of the biggest things is going past the cemetery, and then scenes in TVs, movies, or whatever the case may be, of somebody dying, especially when they take a long time or something like that, or when they say, call it, because I'm glad that I was down for 45 minutes, so I'm glad that they didn't say call it. So those things like that, or and when they get them back, they're back. We got a pulse. Or see them in the hospital bed, hooked up to machines and stuff like that. So those things are really, really tough for me. Uh, um, on the mental side of it. On the other side of it, some things I still may struggle with uh, from a mental standpoint. Is every now and then, I forget something. I can be thinking about it in mid thought. It's like, huh? So a little cognitive things going on. Even on, I have a three-wheeler and I have a sequence to it. Sometimes when it's time to turn it off, I sit there and pause, and so I have a little bit, some cognitive things going on. But outside of that, everything else is pretty good. You understand some things better. Just like you understand. You get suicide. Because even when I go by a cemetery and everything, it's not like I want to be there, but sometimes I feel like I don't belong here anymore. That I do belong over there. So think about somebody that feels like they don't belong on this planet anymore. And you have this overriding thought. I'm glad I don't have that overriding thought not to be here anymore. I still want to be here and stuff like that, but it's just a weird feeling and stuff. So you even understand something like that, why people call it a mental illness or something like that. But if you have the overriding thought not to be here, it's crazy and stuff. So anyway, that's the latest update. Just thought you update on some mental stuff and some cognitive things that are going on. And we'll see if it gets better as time goes by. Hopefully it'll get better as time goes by. But that's about it for now. All right.